Back again.
Back again.
Yes, I like your setting.
Thank you.
Is demure. Demure.
Thank you. Thank you. Try to upgrade a little bit with the snail.
The snail. Oh, that's a snail. I see it now. Oh my god, I did not. That's very cute.
And hopefully it stays until the end of the podcast.
No, it's looking good. It's looking nice. I have
So
managed to fill this up a little more.
I like your background. Like I said in the last episode, it was very nice.
Yes, thank you so much. As you can see, I dressed up a little extra today.
Yes,
I feel like I did a little too much on the dressing. But what do you think?
I think it looks good. I think the black goes well with the temple necklace that you're wearing. Is it
Yeah.
temple?
Yes, it is temple. It's nice, no?
It's
I
different.
really like how any temple jewelry fits with anything. I really love it.
You think so? What about, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never really been a fan of styling temple with like Western clothes, but this looks good.
Thank you.
But I would never do that. I don't think so. Because I feel like maybe in my head, I'm like, no, temple should go with just Indian outfits.
Yeah, yeah.
But some do look good. I think it depends on the way you style it, right? Like I know, I can't remember the name of the brand, but there is this tie that I saw on Instagram on a reel, and that tie had like Surya, Chandra.
Right. I think even I saw that one. Yeah, it got pretty viral. Someone really familiar wore it. And
Yeah,
I really like that there's that influence, right, of like
yeah,
dance in fashion. Like
yeah,
generally art forms when they inspire fashion, it's somewhat like a little extra special.
yeah.
Um,
And it's like you're just carrying a little piece of your dancer side.
yeah. First of all, I think being a dancer, we always have to have that like poise and posture and like that one small thing. Yeah, there should be that
When
one
you
small
video, you're
thing
holding your Mukula Hasta.
like that more.
Yeah, and go up.
In London, like when I was doing my masters, everyone were from like different ethnicities, right? And like there were girls from Japan and China who wore their kind of clothes, and then there were people from Poland, from Scotland, and it was so nice. So I wanted to also wear something that
Yeah.
was illustrious of our culture. So I went for our jhumkas with like really super casual wear.
Okay.
Like once I wore like a man bun,
Mhm.
and then I wore like a very simple chutti from behind, like the ear thing that goes from behind, and that looked nice. Like those things really stand out, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah,
That's a very creative way to wear it. I'd say people like you are very bold and you carry that out well. But
I
with me, I
have to.
feel like if I wear it, I'll be like, oh, will people judge me for wearing this?
No, you would look so good wearing it. I mean, yeah, God, like you should actually wear like more stuff like that.
Yeah, like just wear my keji and like walk around.
Yeah, why not? But generally speaking, I think I've been inspired by dancers, the way they dress themselves. That has definitely like influenced my dressing. One of the biggest influences I can say without hesitating is Rukmini Vijay Kumar. I think she has
Oh yeah,
definitely
of course.
shaped. I yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about the dance, but at
Yeah.
least in terms of fashion, I have really seen that she's done one step more than others, at least in our
Yeah.
generation.
Yeah. I think even the sense of fashion, right? That having dance in your life, it sort of influences your fashion as well in a
Yeah.
certain way. But growing up, did you have like a dress code for your dance class? Okay, yeah, maybe a uniform because I also had a uniform, right? But did you have like a dress code when you would go for shows or like any rules on how to dress?
Yeah, I there was no uniform, but there were rules. There was like no leggings. We have to wear only pajama. So that
Okay.
like it's airy and you can move in it and you're not wondering when it'll tear.
Yeah.
No watch on the hand.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was just a rule in our class. But I've seen schools that had uniform and like you do
Yeah.
practice sari. Oh my god,
Yeah.
practice sari. I think that has like its own beauty. Like, yeah, but yeah, in our class we did not have uniform, but no sleeveless, wear like with hand, no full sleeve also because like you keep like trying to adjust and all, and you have to see the movement of your hand. So
Yeah.
no full sleeve. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think no leggings was a rule for us too. But would you be like, if you had the choice to prefer between like leggings versus salwar, what would you prefer?
Unpopular opinion, but salwar.
Oh my God, me too.
Yeah. Okay, popular opinion then.
Like maybe this is TMI, but when you dance, you sweat a lot, and then with leggings, it just goes to
Yeah.
your
It's plain logic because if you wear leggings, it's not breathable, right? Yes, you can stretch in it and they are yoga pants now, but
yeah, yeah,
it is not breathable. So
yeah.
I mean it's not ideal. And they keep like riding down. So I don't really like
Mm,
that
mm.
a lot.
Yeah, I do see a lot of people wearing workout pants as well, right nowadays. Especially if you're living abroad, I think finding salwars. I mean, if you're packing them from India, it's fine.
Yeah.
But leggings are more easily accessible compared to
Yeah.
salwar because you would usually want to get them stitched with a
Yes.
tailor.
Yeah.
Or nowadays you would get ready-made ones, but I don't think you get them as easily like in
Correct. Yeah.
outside India.
Absolutely. I think
Yeah,
the ones we used to buy, right? Like the just get the fabric of the salwar and then give it to the tailor and get it
yeah,
stitched. That is the best, I think. For dance, I think that is the best.
yeah,
I remember I would have to carry my salwar everywhere. We would be going
yeah.
out to somebody's birthday party, but we have to go to dance class at 2 p.m. for practice. So like quickly finish birthday brunch with somebody and then run to
Yeah.
class and change. And uske baad there'll be some other plan because it's on Saturday, Sunday, and like we'll have to rush somewhere else. So like change into
Yeah.
some other clothes that like you're all sweaty. We are done dancing, practice over, and then all the girls rush in, change into some other clothes. They're like, yeah, I'm going there, you're going there. Oh, okay, fine. And then bye, bye, bye. Has that happened with you also?
I have memories of when like I had to go to dance class and then again a party, right? And I would change the back of my mom's car.
The car had become our house of changing.
I
My
know. I
God.
feel like I'm pretty sure a lot of dancers out there would have had a similar experience where they had to find some space in the
Yes,
dark or in the car or anywhere where they had to change out of their practice clothes or their
yes,
sweaty, stinky practice clothes
yes.
into like a jeans and then you wear
Been
your
there, done
jeans
that. Yes.
after your sweat, you wear your jeans, and then the jeans is also sticking to your skin.
Yes, 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 yes.
Oh my god.
My God, I know for a fact that all my dance class friends will totally agree to this. Yeah, the car has been like second home, and it'll be
Yeah.
full of things. It'll be like water bottle, and then sometimes there'll be like extra breakfast or lunch or something, so that we can hog after class. Oh God, memories that are flooding right now.
I think with water bottle, I was so obsessed with mine. Not obsessed. I think the word is possessive. I would never want anybody else to drink from it. Okay. Had this orange color Tupperware bottle. I'm pretty sure my dance class friends still remember it, and they'll be like, "Oh, this dude's bottle. Okay, she's not gonna give us water." Very possessive.
You're the only one carrying water, okay? And then everyone
Yes.
comes out huffing, puffing,
Oh
and
my god, yes.
everyone's like, "Who has water?" I'm like,
Yeah.
not mine now." And then there's like nothing left
Yeah,
for
you
you.
had to save your water, right? Okay, this is after this dance.
Correct.
This water after Varnam.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
dance also, it's not like you can just sip water. Like, yes, we're supposed to only sip water, but sometimes it gets so heavy, you just want to come and like drink half the bottle.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think anyone should do that.
Yeah.
Should only be sipping water because it's not good.
So if you're into fashion, right? I just want to ask you, like, if you were to create or design something that was very ideal for dance, do you have like an ideal practice outfit for Bharatanatyam?
Whoa, you've like opened up some gates in my head. I would go for something like extremely comfortable. Also, like I think my choice of fabric would be very important. I would go for like cottons mostly, not even linen. Linen is very hard because it wrinkles faster, right? I
Yeah.
feel like, and linen is expensive. I'm not going to spend that much money on
Mm.
practice wear. But I think the regular cotton salwar
Mm.
with like just the right amount of sleeve and like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think if you ask me to, I would like probably take a book and start drawing now and see what are the possibilities. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to like go too far from what we
It's
used to
already
wear.
there.
Yeah,
Would it have like an inbuilt shawl situation?
inbuilt
Because
shawl.
yeah,
You for practice
like a
and
dupatta
oh yeah, yeah. I think that would be nice that you can
can go
tighten and
other ways,
loosen.
right? Yeah.
Yes, we're giving away business ideas on this
Oops.
podcast. This is TM
TM, what is TM?
trademarked, but
Okay.
practice Salwar TM. No, but no, you know what? Like, I think now I will try and
Yeah.
I'll come up with something for this. This
Yeah.
is really nice.
Like right now, a lot of people are being creative with practice sarees as well, right? Practice
Yeah,
sarees are the most comfortable outfits to wear for practice,
yeah.
100%. But it's just wearing it, it's time consuming.
It is time consuming, and also I wore it only for like a few times when we were practicing for like one of the shows in London. We all wanted to record in it and also like kind of get used to the practice sari. So we would wear it every day for practice. And oh my god, at least like 5 out of 10 times the practice sari has come off for me because I have
But
always
yeah,
draped it wrong. Okay.
practice sarees started becoming like a ready to wear thing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Now you
correct.
get like these three-piece
Correct.
practice sarees where you have a skirt with like the pleats already stitched, and then there's like a back.
Stitch sari. Yeah, yes.
One of the challenges with practice sari for me at least is you have to get it to the right length where it's just above your knee, but the pleats are below your knee so that when you sit, it doesn't fold in a weird way and it's your pleats that are spreading out.
Yes, yes, because it otherwise it kind of it stops your knees from like sitting in
Yeah,
harmony.
yeah,
That's little annoying. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I have personally not been a full fan of it. Nothing can beat the salwar man. I did actually make yoga pants,
Oh, really?
which are different. Okay, so basically, guys, you can check out my website Sanjana Umesh. But I made pants. So I had a specific request from one of my clients that she
Mhm.
wanted like some different kind of yoga pants where it had to be loose, but when she would raise her leg, she didn't want it coming down.
Okay.
So I made it multifunctional. I
Okay.
added like nada to the bottom, like I made palazzos basically,
Hmm.
and added pockets to it because women need pockets.
Yes.
Women need pockets, man. I started my brand only to make sure that every garment I make should have pockets. For heaven's sake. Uh, so this is like a flared pant, and the very end of the pant, the bottom, which is like fully flared, right? It has a big circle. So there's a nada that you can pull, and then like you can just tie it.
Okay.
So when you're doing yoga, it look like a harem pant, and
Okay.
then you can remove it and spread it out and wear it as a flared
Oh,
pant.
that's nice. That's very convenient.
I think I love Bharatnatyam also because it influenced a lot of fashion things for me. Yeah.
It's very like the aharya part of it is equally important, right?
Yes. And I found out that it's called Aharya today.
Really?
For some reason, or maybe I knew it in the back of my head, but I didn't know exactly what the word was.
Okay.
And I got to know that Aharya means costume.
So I think aharya is costume in Malayalam. Is there a word called aharya in Tamil?
Actually, Aharam is more like food, if I'm not
Food.
wrong. But
Aharam, right? So I think if I don't know, as far as my very little Malayalam knowledge goes, the word aharyam means your costume. So that's how
I
I
think it probably means that in Tamil. I'm very bad at, I mean, I'm
know.
not sure if I'm right over there.
But even then, like when we study about dance, like especially Bharatanatyam, we learn about the different types of abhinayas, right? So
Yes.
this the Chaturvida Abhinaya, the four types of
Yeah.
Abhinaya.
Correct.
where Aharyam is one of the Abhinayas. So it's a form of like there are four different ways where you can
So
express.
expression through costume is Ahar.
Yes, yes, yeah. Along with yeah, I think when they say costume, it includes everything, right? It's not just what you're wearing, but also how the stage is set up, and then what the the setting, your environment in which you're performing, like the whole form.
A little bit on this. I had to write a thesis, like a paper for costume, when I had to enter the college.
Okay.
And I did this paper called the catalyst called costume,
Okay.
which basically talks about how the costume sets the premises for the whole show, right? Because the first thing visually that you see when the
Yeah.
lights go on, you see the costume,
Hmm.
and then you make your first impressions from that.
Yeah.
That okay, she's an old witch, or she's a rich woman, or she's going to do Odyssey or Bharatanatyam.
Yeah.
It is a medium of expression, right?
Yeah.
Same thing. So that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
So I feel that I've ridiculously left out the word aharya in this paper now.
You just you just elaborated what Aharya Abhinaya is in your paper.
Exactly, without knowing the word.
Yeah.
But that's so nice. And I was like trying to do some research on like how like the costume came to be, like the Bharatanatyam costume
Mhm.
came to be and all. And obviously it was draped like in the
It was a
early.
9 yard sari, right?
It was, yeah, you need 9 yards to drape like that much of,
Yeah, with
I
a
don't
pleat.
know, detailing. Yeah, because the bottom is like that Marwadi style pant. That's how they draped
That's
it.
our band, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, people are. I'm just wondering, like, it must have gone. It's evolved a lot right now, but back then it must have gone through a lot of like trial and error because even the way they draped a normal sari was like maybe it started off as a normal sari, I'd say, for dance, right? And then
Yeah.
they must have figured out like it's not very feasible for your movements, and then maybe that's how.
I think it has become like more athletic or say vigorous now because
Yes.
initially I don't think they had even innerwear to support the rest of the body. Like now
Yeah,
we have more support.
yeah,
The dance would have been a little different considering those kind of things,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
a very interesting thing that struck me. Like,
Yeah, that's a very interesting thought. Also, like adus, other than jumps, like where we sit and do like mandi adus and your sitting jar adus and all of that. I think that would have also been difficult for them to do it with that sari, right?
think about it, we are in Aramandi and our upper body does not move that much.
Your legs, when you move your knees outward, your sari should be able to support that, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they came up with the concept of a Marathi style, like the kacha, where your
Yeah.
legs are, yeah.
Also, it has like a slit from the back, the legs, so they can
Mm,
kind of sit.
yeah.
And then cut to now, people are wearing all kinds of
I,
wrap on reels. I mean, it is important also that it evolves.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
think there are very few people who know to stitch a Bharatanatyam
yeah,
costume.
yeah, very few. I think big respect, man, for all of the tailors who are skilled in stitching.
My master's project was breaking down the Bharatanatyam costume.
Yeah.
And I decided to stitch one costume on my own. We can show images here if possible. I don't know if it'll make
Editor,
it
whoever
final.
editor is, I don't know who it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Please insert picture.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be one of the husbands. I don't think I
Yeah,
can
of
put
course.
images. But I had to like draw the patterns. We have 5 pieces now, and I was
Mhm.
making around 7 pieces. Like I was adding some things to it,
Mm.
but I wanted to stitch it start to end because I wanted to know how much hard work goes into it, and it took me 2 months to figure it out because
Okay.
in London I didn't have any tailor. I had to like actually construct it, and while I constructed it, I was like, hats off, man! Like there is a reason why these things are expensive,
Yeah.
and to take a scissor and cut the Kanchipuram sari is like it gives you
Are
jitters.
proper traditional Kanchipuram sari for your costume?
Yeah, so and I used like a really really large border,
Okay.
and I ironed out each pleat, like each one,
Yeah.
and I made it, and my hand was gone by the end of it. But It was worth it.
There are two types of pleats, right? One is the sun pleat where it goes. Is
Slanting.
that, yeah, is that the
That
pleat?
was the hardest part to figure out, but I figured it out.
And the small fan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That too. I did that too. Yeah, I'll probably have to like dig up the pictures and put it out here. But it
That is
was
so cool. That is such a cool project.
yes, it was. But that was crazy, and I think I should do it now.
Yeah. I'll give you an order now.
Go for it, man. I really want to try and make one because I want to experiment with it too.
What do you think of getting dressed for shows outside of India? Like we all know that it takes at least an hour for a dancer to get ready to be on stage.
I have a funny story for this one. So my
Okay,
sister and I, we were performing in Africa,
okay.
and we literally looked like white ghosts. We had no idea how to put makeup. I'm talking about like 2015, 10 years ago. I'm so surprised that the audience didn't run away looking at us. It was so bad. It was so bad. But yeah, anyway, it's in the past. What about you? How have you like managed your
I
abroad
think
makeup?
when I was small, we used to have these costume rental places, right? So
Hmm.
in Bangalore, there were a few of them, and every time we had a show, either like my dance class would book that person to come and like do our makeup, and we had to sit in line. So there would be like two people, one person sitting so for foundation, and then
Correct.
one person for your eyes and the rest of the
Yeah.
things, right? So we would all like stand in the queue and then wait, and then we'd sit and get layers of foundation on our face. Like, no, this is not enough, not enough. Like we had to spend at least 15 minutes just getting your base right.
Yeah.
And either it would be like too yellow, too orange. It would never be like, perfect, I'd say.
Or
But
your eyebrows would go like two different ways.
oh
Oh
my
my
god, I
god.
think at that age I was not in the like I didn't have the knowledge of how my eyebrows should look
Yeah.
because I was not aware of facial features.
We
I was
still
just
fight with our makeup Anna.
but I think when I started doing makeup on my own, it was probably in like sixth or seventh standard. So my teacher would make sure that we learn how to do our own makeups. So she
Nice.
would give all of us like this small little mirror, the handheld mirror, right? So that
Mhm.
was like something that she gave all her students for their first show, and
That's
so we
so
would
sweet.
carry that, and then we would like try and get the at least if not the eyes, just the base and your blush and everything right there.
Hey, nice.
You have to go to Akka's and be like, Akka, can you do my eyes?
Nice.
But I think over time, you need that courage to do your own wing eye, right? Because even now, I struggle with the wing liner. It's either one is up and this one is straight.
I am still trying to crack that one. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think it's very important to understand your facial features. Like
Yeah.
I'm realizing this now that oh, my eyes look better on stage when it's this way. And I have like hooded eyes, so no matter how much eyeshadow I put, it can just be seen. I just open my eyes and my eyes just cover it.
Man, like the things we have found out now, there's so much information on the net, but that time we didn't, right? And I started wearing like colored lens for stage, like when I was in like ninth or 10th grade.
Okay.
So it would just be easier to wear lenses from home and go. I
Yeah.
think you need to do like so many expressions with your eyes, and it just generally looks better.
Yeah.
And I always felt like if I smile, my eyes become like really tiny.
Would you go and anybody who else was doing your makeup, would you be like, lens? I have lens in my
Yeah.
eyes. Please be careful.
Please be careful, otherwise, like they'll paint it out of my eye somehow. Like,
Yeah. Now when you think of it, it's like I don't know how I sat through all of that. Like if somebody else were to do my makeup right now, I wouldn't trust that person.
yeah, you'd have to like do like a trial or something. I feel like I trust other people more than myself for makeup. So it's the opposite for me. I mean, it's better to have like a professional hand at it than my own hand.
I mean, your products also play an important role, right? Like your kajal, especially. You
Yes.
need that type of kajal which just smoothly glides through, so you'll get it right in your first stroke.
Yes.
Because some kajals they just dry out, and then people suggest putting oil on that, so it gets more smoother.
Oh,
Oh, you don't know about that?
no. Maybe still learning. This is a learning curve.
This is the advice that I used to get, that oh, you add a little bit of like coconut oil or whatever for your to your kajal,
Hmm.
so it becomes a little bit more smoother. But what used to happen with me is it was not sweat proof, okay, and it would spread. And because I have like hooded eyes again, I would put eyes eyeliner on top of my lids, and then I open and I have this
You
on
have
my
the black line on top. Yes.
yeah.
Oh my
It
God.
used to be so bad.
Dude, like this is giving me major nostalgia. And even like um, the after makeup routine, like the removing. First of all, when you put oil and then you spread it all over, I look like this. I just fought in some army and I came back. I mean, like keep washing it, use removers, and then like you have to put multani matti or something to make the face look normal again,
Cool it down.
cool it down. Yeah. Even like Alta was, I mean, earlier they used to wear mehendi for cooling down, apparently. So we wear
Oh,
alta, right? So earlier it used to be mehendi like on the tips because
okay.
the pressure points are on the tips of the fingers. So it cools the pressure points because when you're dancing so much, your body obviously heats up, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
why on the tips of the fingers and the legs we wear
I
mehendi.
see.
But now it's become alta for aesthetic purposes also.
Yeah.
We
And
have
yeah, that's such a cool thing to know. Like I didn't know about it, and it really makes sense. Why
yeah.
that's really how it started, right?
Scientific, right? It's just so logical, makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
the full red hand was a thing, is a
yeah.
thing. I think it still looks like really
Even
good.
under your feet, fully
Yeah,
red
the
under your
full
feet.
red feet. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I think that really looks nice.
It looks
But
good.
I mean, I want to try doing like the original, like Maridani, like action,
Yeah.
but I have to dance that much for needing to cool the body. Wow, we discussed so many things. I actually also wanted to talk about like the Met Gala, but we'll do that in another episode.
Yeah. I didn't get to like performing here, right? Like my experience. Maybe we'll continue that in the next episode too.
Yes, yes.
I only got through my childhood.
We have so much more to talk about. Oh my God. Like, thank God for like having a podcast because,
I'm
uh,
enjoying this. I'm really
yeah,
enjoying, and it,
I don't know who else would enjoy this, but at least like this conversation is like taking me back.
yeah, to all our viewers, if you guys have any crazy stories or any nostalgic stories from your childhood or anything from your dance class or something that you would want to share, just
How your fashion got influenced by dance, or
yeah,
I mean it's nice when someone looks at you and they're like, oh yeah, you do look like a dancer, and I'm like, really, thank you so much. So we shall continue more about this in the next
yeah.
episode.
Right.
Good night, and
Thank you for watching. If you'll have reached until the end of this episode,
please
and
subscribe.
like, share, subscribe. We'll see you all in the next episode.
Let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yes.
Cool. Bye.